Hello, guys, and welcome back to Between the Ropes TV. Now, tonight I've got Mystic Jack Hughes with me. Jack, how you doing, mate?
All good, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. We'll get straight into this reaction. We've just seen Adam Azim stop Rylan Charlton in the second round of their much anticipated clash. To be fair, Jack, do you want to just give us a bit of a breakdown and feedback on the fight?
Yeah, so obviously putting from what I heard aside for a moment, like Adam Azim looks really good. He looks like a top prospect. He's 20 years old. He's, I said I don't like watching people early on in their career, but he's taking the right steps. Like he's fought an area level champion in Conor Marsden, blasted him out, and then he's basically taken a step up in an opponent in Rylan Charlton, and then has blasted him out in 2 rounds as well. So he's not like a world beater yet, but at the same time, yes, he is only 20 years old, and the steps he's taken steps in the right direction and fighting good level opponents, which we don't see, especially from someone at 20 years old. Like when you're on the Sky Bills, they do kind of have this way of maneuvering you around the system and taking easy fights and getting you up on the platform, not even fighting for like credible titles, just getting thrown in with like internationals, intercontinentals, global belts, and fight belts that ain't even classed as prestige in boxing. But yeah, so he's doing all the right things. But now obviously moving on to my made up sources. Yeah, like it's funny that I said the fight would end in the first 4 rounds because the venue needed to be closed. Lo and behold, it ends in the second round. Lo and behold, the venue needs to be closed at 6 o'clock. And the thing is, which does raise a lot of question marks, is Rylan Charlton is a very, very, very tough man. He's been in there with really good boxers. Not only has he been in there with really good boxers, he is a lightweight that's fought at welterweight and against people like Marku who can bang. Marku didn't drop him. He beat him up for 8 rounds until the corner threw in the towel, but he didn't drop him, and he didn't even really look like he hurt him. He was just taking a beating. And even when he was taking that beating, he was still having moments of success. He dropped him in the 6th round. You could argue that there was a slight slip, but at the end of the day, a punch landed, he fell, and he was still having successful moments in the fight. Still coming forward. He was still, pushing the pace in them fights where he was losing. And then, lo and behold, this 20-year-old lightweight just seems to blast him out of there. So there is a lot of question marks there. And I did tell people this, and I keep telling people the same things over and over again. But all I hear is, I don't know what I'm talking about, and your sources are made up. But history shows that I do know what I'm talking about, and my sources seem to be pretty good.
No, definitely. I mean, I suppose time will sort of tell as to what Adam Azim can do. Obviously, there has been a lot of stories the last couple of weeks about his sparring with middleweights because super lightweights and even welterweights can't really sort of handle his power. And off what we've seen in the ring, obviously, I fully get what you're coming from, and I think we spoke about it off camera. Even we're boxing fans. Obviously, you're in and around the game, but as the channel's grown, you do hear whispers from different people and sources of different rumors, conspiracy theories, whatever people want to label them as. So time will tell. But I mean, for Azim, just quickly, Jack, next, what do you do with him? Because we all thought Rylan Charlton was going to give his chin the test that it needs. That didn't happen today. He needs that. For me, I'm looking at it as you can't accelerate him too fast.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm already bored of just watching him bowl people over in 1 or 2 rounds.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, he is only 20, and we kind of have to. He's a baby, really. I turned professional at 24, so I had 4 years on him, and my body was growing into the man. I was just getting my man strength and so on. They say you don't get your man strength until you're at least 25, 26. So he's still got 5-6 years before he even develops his man strength yet. But you've just got to you just got to keep moving him in the right direction, which I think they're doing now. It's not really his fault that he's so far ahead of these people and he's blasting them out with ease. Like it's like, okay, he's blasted out these two area to English level people. So what does that mean? We just throw him in with a European level person? Like that it's too much of a bigger jump. It's too quick. Like, I mean, they could like get him around like southern. I don't know where exactly he's based, but obviously I'm southern area, so you could throw him in with a southern area like title or an English title or Commonwealth and British, because he's probably around that level. But I think he does probably need a step up in opponent. And I'm sure that there's loads of people around the British level that would take that fight. And as I said, I'm sure you could get him a Commonwealth or a British now against someone pretty credible and see how he does. That's probably the steps I'd be wanting to move in.
No, 100%. I'd love to see him go that traditional route because, as you said, he's not being manoeuvred in an international title sort of way. So I'd like to see him go English title. And then obviously we know Dalton Smith's obviously got the British title. His promotional situation is a bit up in the air. But for me, Dalton Smith and Adam Azim could be the futures of the division and British boxing. Yeah, so that's almost a fight I'd like to see saved for 18 months' time when it could potentially be for a world title. You never know. We'll move down the card. Obviously, Mikhail Lowell and David Jameson, they fought for the British cruiserweight title, Jack. And just give us a quick little breakdown of how that fight ended, because it was a little bit heartbreaking for David Jameson, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, he must be so gutted. Like, it's kind of annoying because when I was watching that fight, my dinner literally come out. So I watched the first two, and in my opinion, Jameson won both of them.
I agree.
And then I was eating, so I was in and out watching. But from what I was seeing, it looked like Jameson was dominating. Like every time I was looking, he was either winning the battle of the jabs or winning the inside fight. And then I finished my dinner, I think round six, and I mean he was winning them. He won 6, 7, and 8 as far as I was concerned as well. And then just lo and behold, he went back to the corner and his jaw was apparently broken. He had blood coming out of his mouth and everything. So, I mean, we saw the Parker fight yesterday where he was like, look at my hand. And I mean, his hand just looked like a normal hand. And he's saying that he couldn't fight. But I mean, this guy had blood coming out of his mouth. His jaw was, I mean, we don't know yet, but I mean, it looked like it was probably broken. So, I mean, if I was in the corner and I see blood coming out of someone's mouth, I'm waving that off if I'm the corner man, because that could potentially end quite dangerously. So it's a real shame for him, man. I feel gutted for him. But from what I see of Lowell, I'm not impressed, and I think that's quite an easy British champion, and I think a lot of people are going to want that fight, because a lot of people, I think, will fancy their chances against him. And obviously my mate, Jamie Smith, I'm sure he'd love that fight. And I know the two of them sparred each other. And I know that Jamie's done quite well in the spars. So there's a fight there if Lowell wants it, I think.
No, definitely. I was going to say, and credit to Jameson as well, because he did. I know it was near the end of the round it happened, but he did finish the round as well, to be fair to him. So definitely didn't quit. And obviously Isaac Chamberlain sort of crashed Lowell's interview, didn't he? So I think that's probably the fight. It was a bit pantomime, so I'm assuming that's the fight that we'll see early in the new year. We also saw Shannon Ryan back. Now, Ray's very excited about her. She got a unanimous decision win over Ivanova. What are your thoughts on Shannon Ryan, Jack?
Well, I used to train with her down at Pug Gym. Well, I say train with her. She was there. She has a different trainer and so on, but I was around her a lot. I'm pretty sure she spars Tycee Gallagher, a good friend of mine as well, down at Pug as well. Mate, she looks good, doesn't she? Like, she looks very class. The thing is with the women division is quite hard, because there's kind of seems to be no in between. You kind of just get the really bad ones and then the sensational ones. And she's just does seem to be at that kind of, she's very good level, doesn't she? She seems to be like on that board of sensational woman fighter. I mean, she won the fight with ease. I don't think she lost around today. I mean, she's probably still at that level where she's kind of fighting people you would expect her to win, expect her to beat. So yeah, I mean the future looks bright, mate, from what I've seen of her so far.
No, definitely. I mean, it is gradual, isn't it? Because obviously, even over she's fought Mary Romero, who Ellie Scotney had beaten. So they are gradual steps up. But you're quite right. I mean, to be honest, we sort of all said on previous videos that we're a bit bored of saying women's boxing doesn't have that strength in depth. It's just going to take time as the sport grows for it to catch up. So hopefully, in another 3 or 4 years, we'll be sat here saying, women can have that proper growth and journey that the men also get. But no, very impressed with Ryan today. And we move down a fight you were very excited about, Sam Gilly and Sean Robinson. Talk us through it.
No, I thought Sean started really well. I gave Sean the first 2 rounds. And then 3 and 4 were close, but I gave them to Gilly. And then I think it was the 5th round he got clipped, if I'm correct. And that's kind of where the tide just seemed to turn. I mean, mate, I still rate Sean very highly. I don't think he looked extremely outclassed in that fight, but I think the problem was where, for instance, when they were both still in the first 4 rounds, they both probably looked like they were still in like gear 1 and gear 2. And then after the 5th, Gilly kind of got that confidence and elevated into the gear like 5 and 6, where Sean kind of just stayed in that 1 and 2 gear. Where I think if Sean would have probably stepped it up and, showed the boxing skill that I've seen and that a lot of people that know him have seen, that fight could have been a lot closer. And it kind of breaks my heart a little bit to say that how wide it was, really, because he's such a good friend of mine and I know how good he is. But yeah, I mean, it was a comfortable win for Gilly, and I just want to say, like, fair play to Sean, because that shot in the 7th round, that was a big shot, man. I think that would have ended a lot of people, and Sean took it and got up after 2 seconds and was ready to fight on. So, Sean's brave, he's gutsy, he's got a lot of heart, and he's got the boxing skill. And I've always said it since Sean turned pro. I believe that he can go on and win a British title. He's got the southern area. He's been on Sky twice now, and I've never thought when I've watched him that he's looked like someone's outclassed him massively. So fair play to him, and fair play to Gilly, because Gilly shown that, from what I heard a lot of people say about Sam Gilly, he wasn't that good from what people had told me. But from what I see today, he looks like he can be a handful in third division as well. So fair play to him, and he was a rightful winner on the night.
No, 100%. It was an enjoyable fight and a good start to the card. We also, I don't know if you saw the YouTube stuff beforehand, Jack, but we also saw wins for Hassan Azim. He got a unanimous decision win, and Mick Hennessy Jr. Managed to force himself a stoppage win. Just give us a quick word on those two, Jack, because obviously I know we spoke about Hassan in our preview, and I know in our group chat we're also talking about Mick Hennessy Jr. So just a quick word to finish off on those.
I missed both of them, to be honest with you, but I think I saw the last round of the Azim fight, and I mean he looked all right from what I've seen, and he looked like he did what he needed to do. With Mick Hennessy, again, obviously I missed it, but from what I've seen of him, he does look a bit suspect. I know he lost to, I can't remember the guy's last name, but is it Jamie Stewart's? I think it was, yeah. I couldn't swear to it, but yeah. Yeah, I know he lost to him quite convincingly. I mean, Jamie's good anyway. I mean, he's gone on, took every fight in the away corner, and he's gone on to win a Central area or a Midlands area title. And he's fought some good names as well, never been stopped, and so on and so forth. So he's obviously good. And then I know he fought Tom Brennan as well, and he got dropped in that fight. And a lot of people that I know said that Tom Brennan won that fight, and he got gifted that fight. I think from what I've seen of him, he looks like a fighter that is going to be needs to be managed very, very carefully. Obviously, he is Mick Hennessy's son, which is probably why he does get on these big shows and he gets gifted a lot of decisions. To be honest, as harsh as this sounds, I think it's only a matter of time before he gets beat again.
Wow. Nice bombshell to finish this on. But I've got to be honest, Jack, I don't disagree with you at all. So there you have it, guys. That's our full reaction. Jack, thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you on to end your first week with the channel. But we've got plenty more content, guys, coming next week. Another busy weekend. So stay tuned and join us for that one.